Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Yeah, hello. What's up? It is the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah. All right.
You're spilling everywhere.
I'm sorry. My bad.
What else is new, huh?
He's shaking his snacks, and all kinds of snacks go flying out the bag.
Those aren't my snacks. I'm not cheating. I had a bite of one. Sales department brought in some snacks, and I took a
They
taste.
did. So it was actually a job requirement that he taste these snacks.
Oh, really?
They're
Okay.
apparently a local snack company out of Stewart that wants Jaybird to officially endorse their snack food.
If I had a snack company, you'd be the guy I'd go to.
Thank you.
Again, tickled pink with the showering of compliments.
Without a doubt, yeah. I mean, who would be better? Who's got more clout and authority when it comes to snacks in South Florida than you?
But when you guys blow me like this and saying, "Oh, you're great at snacks," kind of like when we do with Kevin. "Oh, Kevin, you got big muscles." There's always some Johnny come lately that'll see me at an event. "You don't know shit about snacks, Bird. You're a fucking poser." I'm like, damn.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you make
Wow.
someone out to be an expert, like you were saying, "Oh, you got an expert palate." There's always
You
someone,
do.
but there's someone that wants to take you down
All right.
constantly.
Well, point that dickhead out to me at the next gig when somebody says that, because I got a little conversation, a little sidebar with that clown.
I'll have meatheads come up to me. "Kevin's not big. Kevin's not muscular." I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
I'm not.
He's big in a building full of radio fuck faces.
Yes, he is a god amongst fatties.
Yes.
It's all relative, baby.
It is.
It's
What's
all relative.
around you? And Kevin has figured out how to make himself look like the cutest guy at work.
Yeah. I was telling you that earlier. You have gotten better with age. I really
Oh,
believe
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's
Yeah.
why I hate you, because men get better with age, and it's so not fair.
A lot of times, yeah.
If they keep it together like you have,
Yeah.
men get better with age, and I hate you
Well,
once again.
you can tell you just take care of yourself. I think that's a good thing, especially if you're getting older, to still take care of yourself. A lot of people don't do that.
I do a better job than I ever have, yeah. I think this is probably about the most on point I've
And
been.
he hangs out with Pastor Sean, who also does the same thing, takes care of himself. So they're both like guys getting older, but guys still got it.
Older but better.
They walk in a room and girls are like, "Oh, hey, daddy."
Oh, him? No, not
No,
me.
it'd be
yeah.
more, "Hey, father," right? Because it's religious. Daddy seems inappropriate.
Well, it's our listeners.
Would this be something you could get past in a relationship? There's this Reddit thread last week talking about this person looking for advice on what to do about his girlfriend's weird fetish. She apparently is turned on when she feeds him pre-chewed food.
What?
Baby
Look,
bird.
Before we judge anybody, and I'm not into baby bird because Virginia's gonna think I am, let's not judge anybody's weird thing. I got to hear more.
Have you ever?
Never, no. But if I was in a relationship and I really loved my girlfriend and that was the thing that got her off,
Yeah.
she liked to chew food and put it in my mouth, I'm like, sure, let's do it.
Less work for me. How can I get calories in my belly faster
Without burning any.
without burning any? I don't want to burn the 5 it takes to chew.
You're right. Can you eat that pizza and spit it in my mouth? This is so I love it,
Oh,
actually.
so much easier. Thank you.
The sloth's dream come true.
I love it, Kevin.
They've been together for about 7 months, and she just moved in with him about 2 months ago before the bird feeding stuff started. Now, he says that he's turning to the internet for advice because he's too embarrassed to ask friends. He thinks it started when she made him some weird scrambled eggs the day before Christmas.
Oh, scrambled eggs and oh my gosh,
She
chewing
made
them?
him, chewed him, and then put him back on the plate.
That's pretty fucking gross.
She put him on his plate and then fed him to him? Did he
No. What happened? She made them. She
Yeah.
took them, chewed them all up, put them back on the plate, and served them to him. And he's like, "Oh, these look weird." She's like, "Oh no, they're just scrambled eggs." And he's like, "Okay." So he eats them, but
He takes a bite. She's like,
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
Okay, I totally thought we were talking about something different.
I did too.
I
Chew,
thought-
spit.
I thought, yeah, it was like in the bedroom, like she's chewing on grapes, and then she's like, "Open your mouth, big boy," and then
Yeah,
she
that would,
spits
like-
the grapes in his mouth,
Yeah,
and then it's more like a kiss.
Right. If it's kind of like, I'll pass this on, like I've got this, or I've got like an ice cube, and I'm gonna pass it. I mean, that kind of stuff is like, yeah, I mean,
An ice cube, the most boring thing you could do. Come on, let's get some chocolate in here. It's an aphrodisiac.
sticky, messy. I don't know.
Oh, chocolate in the bedroom is a must.
I'd like
Kevin.
to see Denny's and Jaybird do pass the ice cube.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. But chocolate, Kev, is a common thing.
I know, I've messed around with it, but first thing came to mind. So I apologize.
You would probably
It
hate.
doesn't have enough calories for you.
You would probably hate anything with like candle too, because it's too messy. I don't see you.
No, we did that.
You like it?
Yeah.
You like a little melted candle on them
Yeah, I
titties
do
of
that,
yours?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Especially if it's not my bed.
Would you like it like Jay Bird does, like meatballs in a marinara? Oh, all over you, marinara.
What do you mean? Like you lost me.
I could see you in the bedroom doing marinara.
That's not true. That's too gross. That's you got to stick with your sweets. You really do.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, marinara. Now that we smell it, we both have meatball privates.
Marinara and a little parm, just by the penis.
That's not sexy. I'd concentrate more on the parm than the puss.
He said it started to happen when they were in the bedroom, and she did it with the strawberry. Which, that's not a big deal to me. I mean, that's okay. She chews a little bit on a strawberry, and then she kind of like feeds it to you, and especially if it's like lip to lip.
Yeah, lip
that's
to
one
lip.
thing. If you're taking it out, and then it's like, okay, wait a minute. It's like now it's got room temperature.
Or full on chew, and then spit it. That's the more you chew, the more saliva it gets. It gets a little bit gross.
So that was the first place he noticed it. Definitely. He's like going, okay, so she did the chewed up strawberry. Not a big deal, because he's like, it's in the bedroom. It's a chewed up strawberry. Then they were eating. And she was like, chewing stuff up and like put it on the fork and then like feeding it to me. He's like, okay, it's, he didn't like it as much. You see what I'm saying? It's degrading.
So she chewed it, put it on the fork, and then gave it to him.
Yeah, she's like, here, try this. And he's like,
And he's watching her chew it.
yeah. And then she's like, where are you gonna try this? And he's like, you gonna bite that and been all gnarled all over?
Try some of my turkey tetrazzini.
So he told her when she did that, he's like going, no, I'm not really feeling that. And when he refused, she started crying. And she's like, you don't love me.
Oh.
You don't love me.
Oh, dude, you need to fucking run faster than you've ever run.
Pretty much everybody on this thread is saying, run. But he doesn't just want to throw it all away. He said she's perfect except for this one gross thing. But now he's starting to kind of like add it up. And other meals, he's like going, yeah, I thought that meatloaf looked weird. And so he thinks
She's been doing it for a
cooking
while.
the food and chewing it and putting it back on his plate and then serving it to him.
So she's not even mixing the lips involved.
That's what's gnarly about. That's what's messed up about it. Is like, yeah, if you were doing, even if it's meatloaf and it's like lip to lip, I'm like, okay, I think I would be in for that. I'd be like, okay,
That's so
I wouldn't love it, but I'm not going to. If she's hot, everything's great, she's awesome, and she's got this weird little thing where she likes to, chew stuff and then pass it. Okay, if that's what gets her going, and I'm gonna get laid a second later, I'd be like, all right, I could probably go for that.
For a while, you could. I think after a while,
Yeah, you're right.
it would weird you out.
No, I see. I think the opposite. It weirds you out in the beginning, and then you get used to that way of living, and it's just not weird to you anymore. Trust me.
I don't know.
Nah, not
I'd get over
Kevin.
it. No, I
Maybe you, Bird, because you seem to fall into weird without a lot of problem.
No, yeah, I would.
Kevin is too normal.
As soon as like all that, like, hey, I'm really excited to bang this person, kind of like things starts to wear off.
Which
then
it
I'm-
always does.
And it does. Doesn't matter how hot you are. You'll find the hottest chick on the planet. You'll find some guy that's tired of banging her. And
Yep.
that's just the old adage.
I see that on a sign in every bar.
Yeah, it's kind of the way it goes. But there's some truth to it.
What shitholes are you going to?
You go with me, you know.
Oh, I just can't remember.
So his plan is he's going to talk to one of her exes and see what they say about it. Be like, is this really a thing? Because I think even in his own mind, he's not fully sold that this is her thing. He can't figure it out. So he's still trying to put it all together.
I just don't understand why people don't ask people questions in the relationship. Now you're going to the ex and you're getting involved.
Yeah.
I don't think she's being honest with him because I think he's saying to her, hey, did you chew up my eggs? She's like, no, why'd I ever do that?
Don't go to the ex.
I agree with Bird. Don't go to the ex.
I thought it was weird too.
You're asking for trouble. You're fishing around in a pond where you don't belong. If I knew that Panda was going to my exes asking them questions about me, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, he goes to one of your exes and say, hey, did Virginia used to chew food and do some weird bullshit? Has she always acted like a witch?
Poof. I'm gonna put a spell on you.
I don't think it's a deal breaker, though.
I do.
It not immediately, but yeah, like Virginia said, you got to see, okay, how long is this going to go on? What's
It's
it
gross.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that. No thanks. Bye.
She got to be honest, though. She can't just chew up my tenders and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, what the shit is this? If she's telling me she's doing it and that's how she gets off, I'm cool with it.
I'm not.
I mean, I'm not. I don't think it's awesome. But, we all have our thing, Virginia. A lot of judgment going on in this room.
There is, actually. And I fully admit it. I don't want to have pre-chewed food.
I get that.
Yeah.
I don't care that much about getting laid that I would put up with the pre-chewed food.
You don't seem like you care about getting laid that much. You don't seem like you're a horny being.
It's fun when you're in the moment, and if you really like the person, like I really like Panda, and I like seeing him happy, and that makes me happy.
But I just feel like the oven's got to be turned on from somebody else. You don't really turn the oven on yourself. See what I'm saying? I just don't see you getting a case of the hornies that often.
Champagne will turn it on a little
Does
bit.
it?
Yeah.
That makes you horny?
That's your thing?
The bubbles get me bubbly.
Does it?
Yeah.
Means gas.
Panda's so
She's horny, but she's also gassy. So that's kind
Hey,
of
bubbles in, bubbles out.
that's what you got to deal with there, Panda.
Bubbles. It's a great slogan for champagne.
I really want to screw you, but I'm gonna fart the whole time.
Champagne.
I hope you're okay with that.
Bubbles in, bubbles out. On the front it says bubbles in, and then on the bottom of the shirt, towards the lower
That's
part,
great. Write that down.
Bubbles out.
That's a genius idea for a shirt.
Sass or salt. We need bubbles in, bubbles out shirts.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
But the good news is they're gonna be sweet farts.
Oh
Yeah,
they
Oh,
are.
There are dudes that will power through burrito farts to get some. It's just the way it goes.
What's the most disgusting description of category of fart?
Burrito farts are pretty solid. What about French onion soup farts?
My wife, yeah, because she'll get that, and she, that cheese thing that's on top. She's lactose intolerant. Oh, and I see her eating that. Yeah, the ones I would categorize as the worst: French onion. She also loves sauerkraut.
Oh, sauerkraut farts.
That's
You win. You win.
Look, that's right. Her worst category.
Oh,
my God, it's like, it's just like nonstop. It's like a car backfire.
I remember a long time ago, I was hanging out with this girl, and I was laying in her lap, and I kept on hearing her do like the internal farts. They weren't coming out of her butt, but her stomach was farting.
Because she was squeezing them back in.
Yeah, and I remember one was too loud. She couldn't ignore it, so I kind of moved my head. And she goes, "Sorry, I had stir fry tonight." I was like, I had stir fry.
Beef.
I was so grossed out. And funny enough, we didn't really hook up that night. It was weird.
When her belly's all churning with stir fry.
She had inner farts. You're right. I think she's pushing it back up there. This was not your belly grumbling. This was full on inside.
Well, because it's not guaranteed you'll be able to keep that thing in.
Oh, yeah, and my head
Especially if you get somebody rocking around a little bit.
My head was in a
You
very
don't want to stir
dangerous...
it up.
You don't want to shake one loose.
You don't want to stir it up. Yeah.
I was in the danger zone. I got out of
In
there.
fact, it's too bad. Like, they should have that, like, on the Apple Watch, because they can tell everything about, like, your heart rate and things like that. I even, was reading about that pill you can take, and it'll, like, tell you the level of gas you got in your stomach. And that would be handy, because if you're, thinking about getting frisky, it should not only be your vitals, but your partner's vitals. And that would be one of the first things to go check. See, what is their gas level right now? And if they're like a 70 or above, then you'd be like, okay.
Maybe we shouldn't snuggle tonight.
Yeah, and you can look at their last meal, stir fry.
I'll sleep on the couch.
Yeah, she's at an 85, and I've got sauerkraut sitting in there.
Sorry, I was eating stir fry. Oh, no problem.
Sauerkraut and hot dogs.
Oh, hot dog farts are that's
They
pretty
do
bad.
put them together all the time. My wife
They
does
do.
that. She'll get one of them big, and it's not even a hot dog. It's the monstrous, huge old Chicago dog.
They can't make a
Jumbo.
bun big enough. It's like hanging off both ends.
It's a Chicago dog, and she'll litter it with sauerkraut and relish, and then
and just blow you out of there.
it's the worst.
Yeah, I would have to put hot dogs on that list for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Got Jason sent an email here. He said, "Hey, I'm just kind of curious what your deal breakers are. I know for me that the no showering thing would have been it for me, Kev, with the Mexican Queen. Don't get me started on the no sex thing. Let me see. Do you think that your faith plays a role in the longevity of your marriage?" Yeah, well, just to give you an update, the Mexican Queen, she is showering now, so we're kind of over that.
She looked great at the Revitalive grand opening.
Yeah.
She looked
Downtown.
great. She looked great at Sleep Number too.
She had on a business suit.
Yeah.
Her new job has her dressing all fancy.
Yeah, so she dresses all fancy now, and she's got a shower and all that kind of stuff. So she's over that. So that is the good news.
For now.
Yeah, I found you just got to keep her employed.
Okay.
That's what it is. If she's employed, she's got a job or she got to work, and look presentable, and she got a shower. So it works out pretty well. Let me see. Do you think, I think for anybody that is in a relationship, faith definitely plays a lot of, because you get, different standards and things like that. And you probably look at marriage a little bit differently. And I know that people that, go through my church, for instance, too, before you get married, they sit down with you and they talk to you about, okay, hey, here's realistically what's going to happen. You're going to love each other every day, and here's what you got to do to get over it and things like that. And so, I think that you have a higher level of what you'll tolerate. Your tolerance level is higher for crap. You're not going to bail on it as quickly because, you believe it and you're like going, okay, it's got to be to a certain level of just unfixable before you're like, okay, I'm going to punt on this.
I think you can have deal breakers in your head as well. But I've even noticed if I really like somebody and I fall head over heels for them, you start to change your deal breakers. They're like, yeah, they're doing that, but I really like them, and I'm going to be able to look past that.
Yeah.
I think they change when you find someone you really can connect with and like.
Yeah, that is it for, I think, anybody. You always have the pro-con list that's in your head. And then, for me, there's that extra level of saying, look, I'm going to do everything possible. And there's a lot of things that I'm probably going to stomach that I don't necessarily love because I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do to try to make this marriage work. So it's a high priority. Yeah, it is a very high priority for me. And probably faith has a lot to do with that. I think it's just also, too, my parents are still together, and they always had talked about that. And so I just come from a background. I think that your outlook on marriage is a lot based on how you were raised.
Yeah, and it depends on how crazy the first person you marry is.
Yeah.
Because if you really get into a bad situation and you're like, I cannot do this, which is what I said, I was like,
I think a lot of it.
There's no way I was even going to try to make that work.
I think it's your personal perspective and what you've gone through. Someone that's gone through a messy marriage, they're going to have a completely different perspective on somebody that did not. And that's, your experience on this earth, I think, kind of shapes how you feel about things.
Absolutely. I was only going to marry an angel, and so I'm lucky Panda came along.
People get mad at things that are near and dear to their heart. They may not be, if you're in a marriage and you got a pet peeve about something, it may not be their pet peeve. People just look at things differently, and I don't know how y'all do it sometimes to be able to line up different backgrounds and different perspectives and different thoughts.
Sometimes you annoy the hell out of each other, and you have to kind of have your own time and think things through, and then you got to assess and reflect and figure out, okay, what's going on here? The best thing you can do, though, is talk about it.
It just seems like there's a lot of time in a relationship where you're talking about your feelings. You offended me. Well, you offended me. All right, well, that took 30 minutes. What are we going to offend each other tomorrow about?
Yeah, I think luckily the one thing that is cool about a relationship is the longer you're together, you start to realize each other's boundaries, and so it does get a little bit better. You learn your partner, and so that kind of helps you out where okay, if I step into that territory, I'm going to make them upset. And that's just their boundaries. And everybody's got their own. No matter who you are, you got your own boundaries. And you just figure out what their boundaries are. And then you also figure out like how to fight and how to, or not even fight, but just how to communicate and how to deal with somebody else's feelings. So.
How to get your point across and not have World War III.
Gosh, our fights are the worst, man.
Fights are
I'm talking
awful.
Relationship fights. They're the worst.
They should be avoided at all costs. And I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this too, not talking about the little things that bug you and just waiting. And then finally, when you do talk about what's been bugging you for 6 months, you explode.
Yeah.
Talking along the way as you go, communication without like scolding.
Well, I think that's
really something that I've had to learn.
I think that's the key, guy or girl. Scolding, I think, is a major turnoff for anybody.
Major.
Because you don't want to be sleeping with your parent. You know what I mean? You can make a mistake and you can talk about it, but the lecturing and the scolding and that's fucked in my opinion.
You can always turn it around and say, I wish that maybe you would help me with this, or I felt this way when you didn't take out the trash. Like, there's ways to rephrase it, and I'm learning.
God, I'm so glad.
It's hard.
It's work, yeah.
You got two different personalities that communicate two different ways.
And that's what I was trying to say. That's got to be
You're
tough.
Right. You're
Coming
right.
from two different backgrounds, meaning you come from a different family, you got different personalities, and now because you're married, you have to try to meld those together. Because there's days where us three don't get along altogether. I mean, dealing with personality is a tough thing.
I hated you yesterday.
I love you today.
I would say prioritize, too, what you're going to fight about. Because if you bring up every little thing that bothers you, then you're just going to be a naggy biatch.
That's
Yes.
very important, I think.
There are a lot of things that, come out through the pike. And, if I could, and there are always things I think you always also wish on your partner. Be like, I wish they did this or I wish they were that.
You can't change somebody. Somebody is who they're going to be. And that's a hard lesson sometimes to learn. I mean, you can help somebody be better and you can coach somebody, but
Right.
really at the core, who they are is who they are.
It's who they are.
And you got to decide, okay, can I deal with this?
Yeah, I think you're like, can I deal with their crazy? Can my crazy and their crazy match up, and can I deal with their stuff? I can't swear right now because there's like 30 kids looking at us right now and they can hear this.
It's like a school
Can
tour.
they hear us?
I think they can. I don't know.
No, they can't hear us.
It depends on if they have it up in there or not. Sometimes people can. You would think Denny's would know to turn it down.
You would think.
You would think.
Got a text here. It says, I started texting an old childhood friend after reconnecting on Facebook
Uh-oh. Okay. Is
after
it
over 2 decades.
the opposite gender friend?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It started as friendly conversations, but then escalated when he kept telling me how beautiful that I am, and he always had a crush on me when we were kids. His wife then found the text, and she got very upset.
Of
So
course.
Why would she be mad at that?
we stopped texting for months, but then he hit me up again around Christmas and began saying things that were a bit inappropriate again.
Block them.
Now, I
Block
really
him,
like him, and I did
yes.
not want to stop talking to him because we had great conversations, remembering our old childhood, but I feel I should not reply to his text again and maybe block him. I'm also married and don't want for either of us to get into trouble.
Block them. It's already become a problem. You're emailing into a radio show.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Block them. Quit talking to him. You're married.
Yeah.
You guys can talk when you're single.
Yeah, I mean,
How would you feel if your man, or how would he feel if his wife were doing this and flirting and talking and how beautiful and oh, I miss you?
if you
and-
continue to text him, you are opening up a horrible situation. And
if you continue to text him, you'll probably be opening up.
yeah, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Just block. Because the reason why she likes talking to him, because it sounds like she got little feelings for him too.
And he makes her feel special.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe her man ain't doing that.
Exactly.
Probably what it is.
Go address that with your man. Don't try to start some new fire.
What do you do though when you address something with your mate and you're speaking from the heart and you want change to happen, and you're married? You can't just run out. They don't change. What do you do?
You have to keep asking nicely and keep trying to get that person in therapy.
5 years later, nah, I'm just gonna be me. This is who I am.
5 years is a long time. I think that if you keep asking and keep persisting and keep coming from a place of love and asking for therapy and saying, hey, if you love this marriage and if you love me, we need to do this because I'm not happy. If they haven't listened to you after 5 years, I think you know what the answer is. You got to go.
Or
Yeah.
just accept them that they're not going to change, and you
Yeah.
have to love them for who they are.
If you can accept it and then you don't want things to be different. But I mean, I truly believe that therapy is the answer 99% of the time.
Well, marriage should always be two people that are working hard to try to find a common agreement. And if it stops being that, then it's not a marriage anymore. And you have to get them plugged in to say, look, this is going to take work from both of us. And if one person just bows out and stops working, then yeah, a lot of times marriages fail. And that's why, talking about even with my faith and everything else, that if somebody starts doing that, for me, like you could pray for them and all that kind of stuff and try to get them around. You have a certain level of patience. But if they just don't listen to you, respect you, and you just, all these things are going south, I don't think anybody, faith or not, expects you to stay in a marriage where those kind of things continue to happen.
Life is short, baby.
Yeah, I don't think it's a life lease for misery if you get with the wrong person and they won't help be in a great marriage.
Oh, I agree, because I'm just looking at my personal life, thinking about. I would say it's about half and half, where I feel like half the people that are friends of mine that are married, they're very happy, and they've married someone who they consider a friend, a lover, the whole thing. Half of my friends, I would say, they're in a marriage. They were attracted to each other. They kind of got along in the beginning, and they don't even like each other. And they got kids, and they're just kind of going through the motions.
That's too bad, yeah.
And that's half of my friends, I would say, and that makes sense to me because half the marriages end in divorce.
And probably half, if not all of marriages, should probably be in some kind of therapy or at least have a plan on how they're going to keep a spark and a charge in the relationship.
And work at it.
Yeah.
You can't just put it on a shelf and go, oh, that's my wife. Yeah, she's she's just going to be there. Like you got to date your wife.
I mean, when I hang out with Denny's, for example, I see Denny's all the time. But when I'm going to go hang out with him, I'm excited to hang out. I'm never sick of that cat, and I am that way with a lot of my friends. When that wears,
We just got to get rid of Jen.
when they when
I
that
know, right?
She's the one thing standing in the way.
she is. But what I'm saying is when you're in a relationship. Does that die? It seems like that dies down a lot, and you don't have that excitement, and you have to work at being excited. You don't have to work a lot of times with being with your friend and having a good time, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I think sometimes it is more difficult because when you live with somebody and you're married, it's different than your boy who's your friend. You don't
I
see,
lived with him for 4 years.
but it's different that you don't see, like, he doesn't not do the things that you expect of him as a husband-wife
Sure.
relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see. There's not an expectation of him to
Right.
break down, to break our relationship up, and I see what you're
to
saying.
service your needs and do this and do that, and every I has to be dotted, every T has to be crossed, and it's just,
But you guys have
there's pressure there.
you guys have projects that you mutually get excited about. And just like in a friendship, that's the case. I think it's important to have that in a marriage as well, that you have projects, and sometimes it's your kids.
Good point.
And that's why a lot of times when you have kids, a marriage becomes real, like rock solid, because your kids are your whole world, and you're excited about the projects that you're in together, and that solidifies a marriage. It can work that way.
That's a good
For
point.
me and Panda, we get super excited about vacations together because we're both so busy. We both have so much going on all the time that we know on vacation time it's just going to be us
And it's legit excitement
having
that you're going to
fun.
be
Yes,
with him.
Very legit excitement. We're going to be together. There's not going to be any strains of work or business or meetings, and it's just us having fun.
Very interesting. Get in the mind of you married fuckers. Okay. Very nice.
Yeah, and for the girl that sent in the text message too, I read a quote in a book the other day that I thought was really good that I wish I had seen a while ago, and I think it's true for a lot of us because, I could see where you would almost justify in your own mind why you can continue that conversation with that old high school friend, be like going, yeah, but I'm not getting the validation, what I need from my husband, this and that. The quote was, don't do things that you know are morally wrong. Self-esteem is just the reputation that you have with yourself. So you might
that's
say,
good, Kev. I like
I'll
that.
never get busted and this will be fine. I can get away with it. No one's going to know. You know. And that's it. And you ever notice for sometimes like some people don't like themselves? It's because they've chiseled away at their own self-esteem because they've done things that they know are wrong that they don't like, and they don't have a high self-esteem because they've seen the bad things that they've done. Well, you are watching you. And if you're always making those kind of decisions that you're disappointed in yourself with, you're going to have low self-esteem.
Oh, man, that is really good. I have heard people talk about how they've done terrible things in their life, whatever they deem to be terrible, and they think that they are damaged goods for the rest of their life, and they can never, ever redeem themselves. And I don't think that's true.
No, you can't in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In fact, if you make one conscious thought and it all starts with your thoughts, then I'm not going to do that anymore. You're going to start feeling better about yourself. And you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to keep walking in the positive direction. And that's really all it is. And your self-esteem will build up and you'll find yourself being a better person.
I just don't think people give their own thoughts the credit you need to. Your thoughts are what's driving your boat. I mean, you don't make a sandwich without a thought. You have to. I mean, if you're putting in bad thoughts constantly, you're gonna have some weird shit in your head.
You're right.
Yeah.
I just don't think people realize that your thinking is such a big part of this.
Oh, it is. Everything is about your thoughts. I mean, that's what starts everything that you do.
You got me thinking.
Damn, it's getting deep up in here.
Yeah. Another quick quote. Your life moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts.
Wow.
So what you think about is what you will do and what you will become. And you get to choose your thoughts. People can choose other things for you. The one thing you always get to choose yourself is your own thoughts.
Man, let me tell you about my quote. I've got a quote too. The spirit of self-help. Nah, I got nothing.
Self-health.
I can't even read.
Self-health.
Oh, I'm all down on myself. I can't read. I'm internalizing it. I feel so depressed.
All right, let me see here. Got to say what up to somebody else in the KVJ Nation. Said, I listened to you guys casually through most of my childhood during car rides to school, and I had a brief break when I was in Gainesville for undergrad, but then I got totally obsessed with you guys when I took a job studying the threatened wood stork in the Everglades. My coworker and I would spend long hours in the car driving to sites around the Everglades, mostly on Alligator Alley. And you were what got us through those long, boring trips and really bonded my coworker and I together.
Nice.
Cool.
We even went to meet you at Rosalita's a few years back, but we were totally starstruck when we saw you guys at the event. We were too chicken to come and say hi. Anyways, we both left that job, and I moved to Morgantown, West Virginia to study freshwater turtles in grad school at WVU. However, I still listen to you guys every single day on live stream or YouTube. Listening to KVJ in the mornings gives me a little taste of Florida sunshine on dark, wintry days in the mountains. Please add me to the KVJ Nation map. Love you guys so much. That's from Melissa.
Nice. And good luck with your Marine career.
Yeah,
That's
the
cool.
turtles. That's awesome.
That's right. And good luck to them Mountaineers, too. Yeehaw.
Oh, you kind of like them, don't you?
Oh, big time. My whole family's Mountaineers. Yeah, we are all Mountaineer family.
That's where his kin's from.
My kin, my mom and dad both graduated from WVU. My uncle used to be president of the university. And
His
so-
uncle was president of the university.
Yeah.
There's still so much I just don't know, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So I want to do that one-on-one interview with you. I want to just get, but what's going on with the man behind the mic? Didn't even know he liked West Virginia.
Yeah. Didn't know. Big part of me. All right. Very nice. And for the person who had texted us, she said, thank you for the input. I know that's the right thing to do. Just stop the talking. Thankfully, you never saw each other since he's in another state. So
Yes.
you're right. It's
Yeah,
all good.
it's all good.
You realize it. You got it. You know it's not the right thing to do. You knew it, too.
You knew.
You did.
But sometimes you just
Yeah.
want to test the water and
Sure.
see. And
Hey, I get the temptation. There's,
absolutely.
ain't nobody faulting you for that. That's going to happen.
But maybe go take that time and try to get what you need from your man.
Yep, different things you can do. All right, got a comment for us? Anything you want to send to us? Love to see it. Just send us an email, mail@kvjshow.com. You guys have an amazing day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.